Okay, this video is about a RAB Light. Okay, it's the model number here, HB LED 13. Now these lights, and you can see the corrosion still getting in here, even with the gasket. Nothing wrong with the gasket here. Okay, you can see how cheap they're made. You know, the question is, you know, some people ask, should I buy that light? You know, it seems a little expensive. Is it worth the money? $300 for these lights. They're supposed to be industrial, all that good stuff. Let me tell you, no. First of all, the wires isn't even copper. They cannot withstand high current. Otherwise, you may have a risk. Now, lighting is supposedly only a 14 gauge, typically. I mean, it's only 14 watts. But still, this is the copper wire that the plug has. But look, the lighting itself, aluminum. Okay? So you get aluminum lighting in here. Okay? Non-copper. Second of all, I can tell you why this is definitely not worth it. You see all that destructive looking stuff there? I just took a marker over it because it looked even uglier with the paste that I used. But essentially, I went to adjust this. I went to move the angle on this here down, and I had unscrewed this quite a bit. But I guess you have to like unscrew the whole damn thing in order to adjust it. Because if it locks, those little things there, those little teeth, if they're locked in any way and you go to force that lamp down like this or up, down, or however, if you go to force that thing with that, even the slightest amount of tension, that there, that arm, this here, will snap on you. It is so thin metal in here. Now think about it. You got wires that got to run through here, right? Well, look how thick, look how wide it is, and then look how thick that is. Okay, to give you an idea, look at the little line on my finger there. You can tell it's not very thick. So they got to drill a hole in here, inside this, in this piece here. They got to drill through it so the wire gets fed through it. The integrity of this is very, very, very weak and fragile. I'm telling you. So I figured, oh, it's a part that probably commonly breaks, you know. It screws off. It's an external piece. You know, the whole piece could come off. So I called RAB about that piece. And you could call them if you like and ask them and verify this. They don't sell this. They said that I'd have to buy the whole light. This piece here. This didn't come with it. This is separate. But the light comes with this here. Okay. They said I had to buy this whole light again and spend $300. What is the metal made out of? Well, I asked them, what is the metal made out of? I want to try to fix this. First of all, they said you can't fix that. Huh? Well, it's holding in. It's strong, and I've even put a lot of weight on it. I used an epoxy. Give me a moment, actually. What the hell did I put it out? I don't have it with me. It's an epoxy that is Loctite, and it's metal and concrete. And I used that stuff on here. I grinded it with, not a grinder. Give me a moment here. I'm gonna put this down. I was actually gonna look for that epoxy too. I don't know where the hell I put it. But anyways, I used a metal brush and I cleaned the heck out of the metal. And then I applied the paste. And then I used a little clamp. This little clamp here. Oh, found the epoxy. Okay, I'll show you the epoxy that I used here. Okay, so I went out, this was $7, picked it up at Ace, and that epoxy was about $5. So I went out and bought this stuff, and I just clamped this here together. I held it clamped with the epoxy on it, waited about a day, and voila, back to normal. Well, I'm gonna finish this today, but I wanted to show before I close this off that wiring inside of this, you know, for being such a high-end, high-priced product, aluminum, cheap. Oh, the metal. I didn't say what the metal was made out of. I called RAB. I asked them, what is this metal made out of? Because I was going to go ahead and I was going to epoxy it, or I was going to weld it. They said, well, you can't weld that. That's aluminum. I said, what kind of aluminum? It looks like a pot metal. Because when it broke, it looked like an old model car, like a, you know, like one of those Hot Wheel cars. It looked like a die cast material. They said, well, that's cast aluminum. I said, wait a minute. So you mean to tell me that little arm you guys sell with this lamp, with this flood lamp, and it being so thin, and it being known to break, you guys can't sell that piece? And you guys use the cheapest metal possible, cast aluminum. Well, yeah, because it makes it lighter. That's what they told me. Well, I said, I'll take with it, and I'll go ahead and, I said, you make sure to tell your bosses and whatnot that we're going to definitely put this up on YouTube, social media, etc. Because you know what? People have the right to know what they're buying, and you guys are not telling the consumer before you sell the product. You know, it's definitely not right. So, if you want to go ahead and buy a RAB and pay $300 when you can go to Home Depot and pay for this same lamp at Home Depot $30, okay? It's made cheap. This is made cheap anyways. Why are you gonna pay $300 for an industrial lighting, blah blah blah, go to apartment complexes and commercial buildings? Why are you gonna pay $300, you know, when you can go to Home Depot for almost the exact same bulb, everything's almost the same, when you can pay $30? Because I'm never gonna buy one of these RAB lightings again. I mean, it's just made cheap. You can see how the corrosion's building up in there, even though the even though this is good here, the seals are nothing wrong with it, but it's building up corrosion. So, and the cheap metal, made out of cheap metal, cast aluminum, and it's super slim inside of here because the wire's going through it. And so, I mean, literally the metal's about like it's like as thin as this. Right here, it's about as thin as that, the metal inside of this right here. It's about that thin, and then around it it's about this thin right here. So there's no integrity for the weight of this thing, and this thing weighs, if you go online and look that model number up, you're gonna find that this thing weighs about it's say it weigh at least 6 pounds. You know, putting all that tension on this right here. And if you go to unbolt this here, if you go to unbolt that, let me see a screwdriver here. This, you can't just unscrew it a little bit like the way you normally would on a normal lighting. You have to unscrew it to where it's broken like this. You can't have this making any form of contact right here. If it makes any bit of contact, right about right here, right there, that was enough to break it. Look at that. It's not, see that? And that was enough. That, I unscrewed it about right here, and I went to adjust it, and it snapped that piece there. So, I mean, I thought that was enough. That was unscrewed enough. You have to literally unscrew this. And for a $300 light, you shouldn't have to almost take the thing off and then be able to adjust it. Like I said, if you guys wanted to know about getting this product, do not if you don't want to have problems and waste a lot of money. Okay. Hopefully I wasn't too boring on this, but I wanted to elaborate and make sure I gave as much detail as I can. And thank you guys for watching this.